welcome to week 4 of my medical elective in Tromsø, Norway. It's been a great week and I can't wait to share it with you guys. It was really exciting because I got to join a sort of plastic surgery aesthetic course. So all these doctors from around the Scandinavian countries came and they attended this course, and there were lectures, and it was just really interesting. So we started off with Monday. I'm going to cheat a little because I have the program. We started off with Monday, where we did we had a welcoming, and then we went straight into the first lecture, which was the science of beauty. So they spoke about symmetry and sort of the maths and the reasons why we find what we find beautiful. And you'll find that a lot of it is societal, interestingly enough, so it changes as society changes. Then that was presented by Dr. Tvedt, and he presented the next few lectures, which included modern facial rejuvenation and male genital surgery, as well as fillers and Botox, and a workshop on fillers and Botox. So modern facial rejuvenation surgery is pretty straightforward. How do you make an older face look younger? That's what it means. And it was pretty interesting. We was talking about Botox and fillers, which is obviously what we followed on with. But before we did that, we spoke about male genital surgery, which was quite interesting. How they do it here in Norway is that they cut the spermatic ligament, which lengthens the penis. Ooh. He also spoke about the indications. So you first, before giving every man in the world the surgery, you first look at them and decide, are they normal? You know, for their ethnicity and also for their culture. So, I mean, it would be different for someone in Norway, what size they want to be compared to somebody in Africa. So it was pretty interesting. And we followed that with the Botox and fillers lecture, which was just explaining how you do them. And then we did a workshop, which Dr. Tvedt kindly showed us on a patient, and it was pretty cool, and I learned a lot. And the big focus here in Norway is to make the beauty and the rejuvenation and the Botox and the fillers look natural. So you don't want an unnatural cosmetic surgery. And we finished the day, each day ended with a fun lecture. So the fun lecture for Monday was Why Do Elephants Glow in the Dark, which was presented by Dr. Mercer, and it was quite interesting. It spoke about how they did a research project on elephants in Africa, and they used thermography to see how they cool their bodies down. It was very interesting, and it linked in with the role that thermography has to play in surgery. So it was very cool. Then on Tuesday we did a doctor named Sam Dahl came, and he presented the risks in aesthetic surgery and how to sort of deal with the problems that arise with these risks. And then he also did coping with the dissatisfied patients. That was pretty interesting because he spoke about how you first want to prevent that from happening. So there are some patients, especially in aesthetic surgery, who have a complex about that body part. So it doesn't matter what their nose looks like, they're always going to have a problem because they fixate on that body part. So they think their nose is too small, you fix their nose, now their nose is too big. You know, it's one of those things, it's all psychological. So you need to identify those patients and make sure that you don't operate on them. And then the second part of it was, if you did mess up, if you didn't make the nose as they described it to you, then you'll go and fix it. The nose is just the example I'm giving, but any body part. We then had a coffee break, and all the coffee breaks were really nice because there was coffee and tea and fruit and sometimes cake, and there was like a brioche. I think it's like vanilla brioche or whatever. It was really nice. So that was what happened with all of the breaks throughout the week. But then after the break on Tuesday, we had a lecture on facelifts, and yeah, facelifts, how to lift a face. We also had a lecture on rhinoplasty, which focused firstly on making the nose functional. You don't want to operate on the nose and make it so bad that the person can't breathe out of it, but also you want to fix things. So if they have a deviated septum, you're not only going to give them a straight nose, you're going to fix their breathing, you know, that kind of thing. So not it's the laws of medicine. First there's non-maleficence, so you don't want to cause harm, and then you also want to benefit, so beneficence. So it was very interesting. We had lunch with Cafe Bona, it was really great, and we did another lecture with Dr. Westvick, who by the way did the facelift and the rhinoplasty lectures, and he spoke about his time training in America as a plastic surgeon and the hours and how you get in, and it was very interesting. I don't think I want to work for the American medical system after he spoke about it, but he enjoyed it and he seemed very positive about it. Then we had Dr. Bagenholm, who she spoke about extreme hypothermia and how you survived, and she was actually a survivor. She was skiing and she fell into a glacier and she died for half an hour. So she was technically dead, and it was kind of amazing, and they looked at how it worked. Because her body didn't cool itself instantly, she didn't get frostbite, she cooled down slowly and her blood was still moving but her heart had stopped, something like that. Like the demand decreased, therefore because the supply had also decreased, she still survived. So that was the cool lecture for Tuesday. Sorry, I just went to go get my washing quickly if I look a bit different. But continuing with what I was saying, we had a break and then we did a pre-operative planning and facelift workshop, and then we actually spoke about Dr. Zakaria's approach to facelifts. So on Wednesday, Dr. Rold did the massive weight loss patients, their indications and surgical techniques that you would use for those patients, and then he also did the psychological aspects of aesthetic surgery, so what I mentioned earlier about the negatives, so how you can, whatever you do, it might not help them, but also the positives because you give people self-confidence. So it was very interesting. And then a Dr. Tiller did gynecomastia, how we treat it, the different techniques you can use, the different grades of gynecomastia, the reasons for gynecomastia. So it was very interesting. Then we did hyperhidrosis with Dr. Kvamin, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but with that one, basically hyperhidrosis is excessive sweating, and he did the different techniques that you can use to help these patients because their quality of life is reduced. Moved on to breast implants and radiology with Dr. Vian, and he basically spoke about how breast implants make diagnosing breast cancers a lot more difficult, and the different techniques you can use when you are doing the radiology of a breast implant patient. And yeah, it was very interesting. And I also went and I had coffee with Dr. VM the other day, and he has the best coffee in Norway because he makes it himself. So yeah, shout out to him. Then we had a lecture from Prof. Louis, who's my fave, and it was about polar bears and sort of like, so okay, first to explain, Tromsø is very north, it's in northern Norway, and there are no polar bears, despite what people may think. But there are polar bears on Svalbard, which is just a boat ride away. And what happened was there were 5 students. They were on Svalbard. They had taken precautions, but a polar bear got into their camp. He killed one of them and basically ripped the sculpts off of the other 4, and a lot of trauma, thorax. They eventually killed the polar bear, but they were in a really critical state. And Prof. Louis spoke about how you handle that case, it's trauma, and then also from an aesthetic side, how they handled that case, because you want to make sure these people look normal eventually, because they've had their whole scalp ripped off. So it was hectic, and they survived. Hectic, man. Kelsey. Okay. Then on Thursday, we did the abdominoplasty evolution with Dr. Barsted, and then we did abdominoplasty techniques with Dr. Malucci, who is a brilliant doctor. We carried on with liposculpting from Dr. Barsted, and then Dr. Malucci spoke about breast augmentation, and he has a really interesting paper. I would go and look him up. He's very interesting, and he spoke about what's the perfect breast. What are you aiming for? You're not just going willy-nilly into somebody's boob, and his main focus is on making the boob as natural looking as possible and as beautiful as possible. And he actually has a mathematical technique. That was very interesting. I liked his lecture. It was really good. he also did, Dr. Menducci also did the challenging mastopexy. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what was happening in that lecture, I was tired, but I hear it's interesting. Then Dr. Zakaria did mastopexy lecture, and Dr. Bastard and Kalaji did a workshop on liposculpting and abdominoplasty. And then Dr. Nyland did a lecture on the mysteries and myths around the Northern Lights. So I ran into some I was gonna save this, but I ate it. Well, I didn't eat all of it, I had a block. But yeah, I was gonna show you guys. The milk chocolate here is so good. It's like Lindt quality. But this is just their normal chocolate. Milk chocolate. It's really good. See? And it had a little... It's not a penguin. I don't know what that is. Some sort of crane maybe. Anyway, back to the point. On Friday, we did a lecture on aesthetic lipotransfer, which was presented by Dr. Kalaji. Then we did how to manage tuberous breasts by Dr. Bastard. And by the way, tuberous breasts are a really big problem in Norway apparently. If you're interested, you should go and look it up. I have a friend who I realize now has tuberous breasts, but I always thought that was normal. But here they diagnose it as an anomaly, and there's no test, but it just looks weird. But yeah, if you're interested, go Google it. It's quite interesting. Then Dr. Bjordal did a breast reduction technique lecture, and everybody went off to write an exam, and then they said goodbye. I'm trying to remember what I actually did because I am making this video so late. I know that I did stuff last week, I just don't know what I did. I have a very bad memory. But on Friday we did do the Black Friday sale. We went to Yekta at 6:30 in the morning. But yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, the sales weren't as great as I think they were in South Africa. My poor mom and dad, who I phoned at 1 o'clock in the morning to buy me things in South Africa. Buy me things. No, I'm just kidding. It was something that I needed. I was looking for textbooks online. It's not that exciting. But yeah, so we went to Yekta. Why is my memory so bad? What else did we do? Well, anyway, when I went to Yekta, some of the cool things I bought include this Bailey's iced coffee. It turns out you can't buy alcohol before 8 o'clock in the morning, so I had to wait 20 minutes. But then I got this beautiful ring, if you want to see. And I also got another beautiful ring. Mama loves rings. This one. Sorry, my hands look so... I have nice hands, I promise you, but in like videos they always look scary. Anyway, also bought some little bee earrings for somebody special. Also for somebody special. And these. It's not focusing. Yeah, so I bought a lot of stuff at Yekta. On Saturday, what did I do? Let me go ask. So, I spoke to the informants. None of us can remember what we did this week. Last week. This week. If I did my video on time. Yeah, we just like spent time with each other, but I'm not sure what we did. We definitely did stuff. I think I was so busy last week, I don't know what happened. Anyway, but Friday was Yekta, and I showed you guys all the stuff that I got. Well, not all of it, but some of the stuff I got. And then basically the weekend was a lot of shopping. Like, we shopped everywhere and we bought a lot of stuff. And then on Saturday we went to a restaurant called Pasta Fabriken. I had the gorgonzola pasta. It was really, really good. Sean had the pesto pasta. Tolerance had the lasagna, and Andy had this seafood soup. His dish was really good, like, oh, it was good, but my pasta was better. Well, I just like cheese. I love cheese, as you will later find out. So after supper we went to Storgata camping, and it's basically a club with a mini golf course, which is a little bit weird. So it's like all these drunk people playing golf. Anyway, I don't judge. I was pretty good. I played for the one guy, I can't remember his name, but yeah. And we drank a little bit.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. And you're
the
not,
worst
like,
experience
you just can't get into it because
ever. Yeah, Saturday was interesting. Whoever these random people are who are watching this video, you're not going to know what happened. But if you're my friend, you can ask me what happened. But it was the worst night of both Andy and my lives. And we were just like, why did we do that? Like, what's wrong with us? Like, are we crazy? Did we want to die? Like, what? And all I will say is that there was a guy and I should have stolen his cheese. Like, that's all I'm saying. I should have stolen his cheese because he was a dick. But on a positive note, got home on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, 9:30. It was a pretty good week, and yeah, here's to week 5, which I'm almost at the end of, but you don't know that. Okay, okay, I'll go now.